It's the People's Podcast Show with Adrian Biddle, Melissa Bartlett, and your boy, Kerry Bigsby. It's your show, so tell us what you want to talk about. It's the At the Round Table Podcast Show.
All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. It is us once again, the At the Round Table Podcast Show. It is a beautiful Wednesday. Hope y'all are doing well. And it's good to see my family here. I would be remiss not to talk about this miss. She is Miss Pitbull in the dress. She is Melissa Bartlett. What's going on, sis?
Hello. I am super duper excited that it is Wednesday. I get to see my brothers. We are doing the show and we have a fantabulous guest. This young lady, this queen, this princess reached out to us. What was it? About 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago when we did that?
I think it was.
It was like 2 years ago. We did an interview with her. So, so much has happened, and we had to get her on the show so she could share with our family her fantabulous journey and her energy and who she is. So I'm super excited about tonight. And I got to go to my bro, A Money. How you doing? Hold up. How you doing today, A Money?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And the gentleman to the other side of the screen, on my right side of the screen, the guy that stirs the drink, the conductor himself, Mr. Culture, CD.
Hey, everybody. It is truly an honor and a blessing to be on this evening, especially with these incredible people. We always get together and we have fun, and we always talk about how this particular show, this podcast show, we call it a family, and we extend the family out to everyone who come and join us. And sooner or later, we'll have a lot of people coming in. They'll start listening and they'll start asking a lot of questions, and we love the energy that comes from them. So we want to thank y'all for joining us this evening. A Money.
Yes, sir.
Man, oh man, oh man. I was tickled when you told me who our next guest was going to be. And I say that because the sisters, she's done a lot, and I remember meeting her years ago. Both of us part of the industry and such. And I'm not gonna say too much more because this is your night. This is your show. So I want you to go ahead and do it justice. And the reason why I say that is because it's something about the voice. I'm energetic, but the voice that you have, I think is just, she deserves the voice.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, joining us, excuse me, let me clear my throat. Yes. Well, joining us tonight is a true princess in every sense. Yes. We have coming the incredible, the incomparable, the outstanding Princess Lakesha Afolabi. Did she drop?
Did she drop? Uh-oh.
I think she did.
I think she did. She'll be back. She's got to come back.
All right.
See how you do? Your voice is so silky. It just disrupted the Wi-Fi. It was like, he had the Wi-Fi shake like,
Oh gosh.
There she is. Hello.
There she is.
Hey.
You might have to do the introduction again.
Oh, really?
I'm back.
Did you hear the intro, Lakesha?
You know what? I don't know what was. I missed the last part. It seems like I'm having a little technical difficulties. I hear some I hear you all just fine, but it's making some like static noise a little bit.
Oh,
So I'm going
okay.
back to my laptop.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Definitely. We'll see. We'll make it work. Definitely.
Yes.
But that's fine. That's fine. Let's see. We'll make it work. Definitely. Yes. All right. Let's see if that worked out right there. Hey, Charlie, too. What's going on? Thank you for joining us on this roundtable.
Hey, Charlie.
All right.
All right. Let's see. We've got two of you up. We'll see which one.
I think that's a lot better.
Let's try this. Oh. Okay. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see what happens and see if we can get this going.
Okay.
It's still a little bit of a lag, but that's all right. We can hear you definitely. So
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, seems like you're getting a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get this thing started because we have our special guest on here. I kind of want to reflect back, but I don't want to jump ahead because this sister has been blessed most recently, and it's just amazing. It's almost like a fairy tale. So, but I know that's something which Mel gonna jump into because that's how the ladies do. They talk about that. So, but that's fine. Bay money.
Yes, sir.
That's fine. A little bit of a lag. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can increase the buffer. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Princess Lakesha, how are you today? Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. I hear you.
Good.
For Princess, if you can hear us, we'll do audio and at least your pictures there or the lag of the video.
Mm-hmm.
I rather our family be able to hear you in all that you have to say.
Okay. All right. Awesome. No problem. Whatever works.
Yes, we are going to do this because we've been anticipating this. Haven't had a guest in a while, so we are anticipating this show tonight.
Awesome. Likewise, it's always a pleasure to speak with you all.
So, how are you? I don't even want to do the vague or broad question of what's new because there's just so much that I think has happened since we was on your online magazine. We did the interview. So you can start however you would like to start, or wherever you would like to start.
Wow. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you all for on your show, having me round table. I am still hoping to link up all when I'm back in Charlotte. But I would like to say awesome sisters. We are fasting right now, fasting and doing a lot of praying, a month of Ramadan. So I just wanted to send a greeting to all those who are listening. But yes, a lot has taken place. I believe the last time we spoke, I did share that I had written a book, had a book published,
Mhm.
and a couple of things had happened um, uh, with that. I had a book signing. Went back home to Florida and did a book signing. Kind of just felt like I wanted to take that back home and share people that helped me along the way. So I went home to my local neighborhood and did a book signing at the local library. A very surreal moment. It was like a dream come finally collection of my work. The book is called "I Love Heart," and poetry and prose, and was in a manner that made me feel proud of myself because I was able to express a sensual side of myself without using vulgarities or using profanity, and just really allowing myself to express how I felt about love in various situations. So that happened. And since then, I've had been working on some other projects, some other books, and I also got married. I got married in
Mhm.
September of 2021. So I'm going to slow down. Thank you. I got married, and yes, I did marry a Nigerian prince. So um, that is where the new title comes from. So and that was again another an unexpected thing that happened. I didn't know that really a prince wasn't talked about to me. He really even tell me that he was a prince until after we got engaged, and I was
Mhm.
like, Prince, I kind of dragged him about that, and he had his brothers confirm it for me, and his eldest brother gave me the whole background on the family and a long um, explanation of their um, family history. But
Mhm.
it's really I'm blessed to have him as my husband. I'm happy with. So I'm still a newlywed. I'm still a newlywed. But I
Yes.
am working on some other release. Yeah, I'm working on releasing other books. The magazine turned 21 this. I have a lot to be thankful. I really can't complain.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
21 years. Seems just like yesterday. Standing with you, we were doing a couple of interviews
Yeah.
and talking to a couple of individuals and such. So I mean, yeah, you've been in the industry for quite some time. Very, very experienced, a lot of wisdom. And you've contributed a lot. People are watching, so thank you for that. Definitely, thank you for that. Shouts out to Latoya for joining us on At the Round Table, Charlie Tubes, and Mahogany. Thank you for joining us this evening, so we get a chance to talk with Princess Lakeisha. Ah, that's got a good ring to it right there. I like
It do, it do. Just,
love it.
just that ring of royalty.
Royalty. Yes, yes, yes. And she has been busy and you're also a founder as well, if memory serves me correctly, of a sorority, correct? Lakeisha, could you hear
Yes,
us
I
on that?
am.
Okay. Yeah, give us a
Yes, I
little
am. And the
background on it.
sorority now, the organization has been around for recently. Well, the sorority is named Lady Rose Sorority, Eben Bessie Saka Eben. And Eben Bessie Saka Eben is our second name and internal motto. It's something that we share amongst ourselves, but it translates to Eve, EVE. So those are African Adinkra letters. We decided not to go with being a Greek organization. We wanted to do something different, and we decided to adopt the African Adinkra letters to pay homage to African culture. Women of all nationalities, and of course, to be with what we represent, and we represent love, peace, security. We operate as custodians of our culture, and the organization advocates for women and children in distress. We also are advocates for literacy and small business owners. So we are really doing a lot right now. We have a lot going on. We wanted to ensure that we made it known that we are not just a social organization. So we are a service organization as well, aside from having get-togethers and just being sisters and bonding with our sisters. We are really out here working in the community to serve God's people. So we have initiatives like our mobile food pantry, where we deliver food to elderly and mothers. Newcomers, we provide packages for moms to help out, by and a lot of things thought it would be most beneficial to have a mobile pantry. And we are also working with the youth as well. We have a youth fellowship called the Rose Blossom Fellowship, and it is for young ladies between the ages of 16 and 20. It gives them an opportunity to see what Lady Rose sorority is all about. And it also allows them to work with us hand in hand on community service. So they get to, get in the field with us, see what it's like to serve someone that is in need, or what it's like to someone who may need help with reading. So they are in it with us. And actually, just maybe about 2 weeks ago, we had about like 4 young ladies join the fellowship in one day. So some of the youth have been expressing to us that they feel safe and they feel talking to us. When we had one of our that's what we call it, where we invited some college students to sit in and learn what Lady Rose sorority was about. They were expressing to us that they were nervous at first because they were in the presence of the founder of the organization, but they said they felt really safe, and they felt like if they were to be a part of something like this, they wouldn't be hurt. And that was very important for me, that to hear that feedback, because we want to have a safe environment for women and young ladies. We don't want them coming into the organization feeling like their life is going to be a part of something. Because to be a part of a sisterhood, you shouldn't have to feel intimidated by your sisters. You should feel welcomed by your sisters. So that's really what we're about. We focus on leadership development. We also focus on character enrichment and social change. So those are some of the three tenets that we focus on. And like I said, before we were a sorority, we actually were a women's association, and really on networking and building each other up to be, to empower women and to assist women to make connections in various industries. But then it just dawned on us that there are a lot of women that need support. And really want to, we need to do something a little bit more. Why not transition to a full-fledged sorority so that we can work on bonding as well and building relationships between women, because that's very important. Having relationships with your family, your husband, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother is important, but having relationships and friendships with women is important as well. And most of the time, from what I've been hearing, is that when women tend to be standoffish and not want to develop with anyone not in our immediate circle or someone that hasn't been around for the last 15 or 20 years. You know, it's sort of like that song that had the hook, "No New Friends." So that was kind of like the mentality. But if you have that mentality, yet you still have a desire to be friends or have new friends, you won't make any new friends with that type of mentality. So you want to break those barriers, and those misconceptions about welcoming new ships and building what a sister as well. And so that's what Lady Rose is all about. Academy. We offer free courses to the women that are in the sorority. We also have a Rose Petal Network, which is a network in the network to fellowship and do business together. We offer discounted services to our members, but we also offer services to the public as well. And maybe about in 2018, we even developed our own form of currency. So we have a lot going
Oh wow.
on. We have a lot going on, and it's really been a work in progress. And this is community organizing. So this is not something this we're not getting paid to do this. We're doing this from our hearts because we want to serve. We want to serve each other. We want to serve God's people. We want to be in line with what our Creator has in store, has in mind for us to do as women. So that's what we're all about.
Oh, well, Princess Lakeisha, I got a question for you. Since we had did the interview with you a couple of years ago, been keeping tabs on you every now and then, looking at some of your posts that you post
Yep.
on your personal page and everything. And the one thing that I gather from you is that your disposition always stays the same. It's always positive. It's always nurturing. And then on top of that, you giving back to the community like you do. So where is this birth from? Have you always been like this, or is it something that happened in your life prior that just made you want to just share that gift to the people?
Now, if you watch my page, any one of my pages, a lot of times I tend to break and I have this called moments where I spill the truth. So I'm gonna be real with you because I'm not perfect and I have not always been like this.
Mhm.
I sugar and every bit of included, but I believe that having a bad day, it doesn't need to spill over into everybody else's life. And I realized that I have a lot of people following me on multiple social media platforms. On one page alone, there's almost 8,000 people. On another page, there's another some odd thousand. And then I have some smaller pages where I feel a little bit more comfortable to share a little bit more because not that many people are following. But I realized because I've been working on since the MySpace days, I used to have an event on there. It happened to me. The world what was going on. I want to get it off my chest. But then I realized sometimes you got to take that back to the old school journal, to your old school diary, and pick up a pen and paper and just write down your feelings and maybe burn that up after you're done with it or give it to God
Mhm.
because everybody doesn't need to know what you're going through. And I realized that if I want to be in line with my purpose, which is to be a vessel for God and to love God's people, serve God's people, I can't do hurting the people at the so yes, there's a lot of positivity going out there, and I'm glad that it touches people in different ways. Some people like it. Some even with the magazine, I was told many years ago magazine was not going to work, wasn't going to be very successful because these articles, I don't have a gossip column, even though we allow people to set the record straight. That's what I would always call someone. I would say, you know, you have this platform now. If there's anything you want to set the record straight, I editor and chief have the right to edit certain things out. And if I feel like certain content is going to hurt our audience, it will not be public. It won't be published. Now, is that censoring? In a way, it is. But the goal is to exude positivity and to help people get on a high. Hold myself accountable my actions, and I can't just be out there putting out any old thing on social media just because I'm not having a good day. So I'd rather post positivity, and I've had many stumbling blocks. Like I said, I used to get on social media and vent. I wasn't always nice. I would be saying things that would make people be like, "What's wrong with you today?" Especially if one day, you know, the last 5 days they see me being nice or putting up pictures smiling, or I'm talking about something love and poetry, all this good stuff. Oh, hit them with some crazy stuff. They're gonna be like, "What's wrong?" Sometimes, you know, everybody doesn't take it as venting. Some people feel targeted. Some people get triggered by certain things. So I've learned that the best thing to do is to always do your best. And social media is a medium. It's a medium to get the message out there. That's basically all. And I love the media as a public figure to exude the best part of me, you know, to attract people to the love of God. And that's basically it. You know, that's basically it. So I wasn't always like a short answer, because I'm long-winded. Short answer. I wasn't always like that. That's where the place of that energy comes from, a place of just love. Yeah.
I like the accountability. I think a lot of people on their personal pages, or if they are providing a platform like ours, they do not take accountability seriously. And so we have a number of people that say, well, you guys should do this, or you guys should do this, or you need to have this person on. But if it does not align with what we do, how we live, then we can't do that. And one thing that has made this show have the feeling that it has is that we are all in alignment to the common purpose of our platform and ATRT. So definitely appreciate another person, and especially a person of color, holding up that standard as well.
Yes, indeed. And that's one of the things that I noticed about Lakesha years ago. Because again, when you're in the industry, you run in the same circles. And I remember having the same situation as well with my publication back then. It's not going to work. People want, you know, you got to have a gossip columnist or whatever sort in there, all kinds of stuff. But when you've been placed in a position to bring out the best of us, then you are responsible. There's a responsibility that you carry. And, you know, sometimes you do feel like you want to get on social media and you want to say something, like just hit them straight between the eyes, is what I would say. But then you have to think about it. You have to think about how it's not only going to affect the legacy that you establish, but also for those yet to come that may walk in the same path that you have. So that's one of the reasons I've always admired Lakesha as far as what she do, because she held that banner and she continually holds that banner. So thank you, sis, for you mentioning that. Charlie too said,
Thank
giving you
you.
applause.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, since you mentioned that as far as the business and everything, it's kind of a twofold question. I know one part of it, Mel's going to ask. It's about your husband, but my portion of it, being the business guy, is with everything that you're doing. How have you been able to make it work being a newlywed, and how has he encouraged you to continually hold that banner, do the work that you're doing, and being that vessel for God?
Wow. So one thing, my husband and I pray together. And actually, before I even got on to log on for the show, he said, "Let's pray."
Mm,
And so he's very he's very committed to his faith in Islam.
mm,
He is a very spiritual man. His temperament is a very mild. He's a mannered man.
mm,
And I believe that is what I needed, because as you all have said, I do a lot, and I've been doing a lot. So one of the things that was essential for me before I got married was to marry someone who would not um, try to make me shrink as a person, or
mm,
someone who would not be happy with my career in media or in the public eye, or as an author. And my husband has been very supportive. He always tells me every day, the world celebrates you. And those are his words.
mm,
How could you be happy to have someone tell you every single day the world will celebrate? You will not go, you are beautiful.
mm,
He always gives me such encouraging words, and I can't take that from him. So for me, that's something that it's uplifting. It's like getting daily affirmations.
mm,
When someone else is in your corner rooting for you, yeah, go, 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 go. That's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I just take that and keep it all to myself. I give it back to him as well. And so that's how we operate. It's not perfect, it's hard, because actually right now he's still in Nigeria. He's
mm,
still in Nigeria, but he will be coming here soon, God willing. And so we had a little we've been apart from each other, but we have been together every single day.
mm.
So if that makes sense.
Yes.
And we uplift each other, and that's how our relationship was for 17 years before I got married, because I was single for 17 years. I'm not my husband's first wife. I'm his second wife. He
Mm,
was previously married, and I was previously married. So I was single for 17 years, and I always knew that if I were to get married again, it would have to be to someone who supported what I was doing. And he hasn't once asked in magazine or to stop being the president of Lady Rose or anything. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
he and I have recently started a business together.
oh wow.
It's
Mm-hmm.
Afolabi Legacy Realty, because my husband has been a realtor for about 12 years now, and he's
Mm,
also he's in the import export industry.
mm,
So we are more as a team. After he said high five, we high five, and I said team Afolabi. And so,
that's
and
what's
that's
up.
how we encourage each other. He encourages me, and I encourage him. And I think, hey, for you just as much as you're there for me. If your time to shine. I want you to shine, you know. And that's how we operate, and that's how it's working. It's no, but so how we pushing forward, because I do have a lot. I do have things, but I also realize that in order to have a happy relationship, you have to make time for each other. And that is something that also helps us stay connected. And again, it helps to have somebody rooting in your corner saying, go, go, go. Yeah, it helps. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Amen to
That's
that.
beautiful. That's beautiful because it's sad to say there are a lot of wives that can't say that they receive a daily fill up from their husband. He is pouring into you everything that you need to make it through your day as a woman, as a wife, as a business person, and as a commitment to the community. And so, yes, Charlie too said the glow. I noticed the glow when you came on. You know, um, nothing is more beautiful and nothing is the perfect makeup than a woman's happiness. And that's what I see with you. So it's such a refreshing thing to hear and to see the pure joy in your face when you are talking about your husband. Like this is, and I believe that yes, you're newlyweds, but I believe that this is longevity. This is not just because you're newlyweds. It's because it's just real. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question is, even though he's still in Nigeria, how have you adjusted to being Princess Lakesha?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was that question? She said what?
How have you
I missed the
adjusted?
little part. I just heard. Oh,
How have you adjusted
that's
becoming
Lakeisha.
Princess
So
Lakesha?
it's I'm still adjusting because, and I'll tell you why. Um, I didn't want to make anybody taking the title, and I don't want to say taking the title, but accepting the use of the title publicly was a lingering because and all that I do humble, and I didn't want anybody to I was putting my will or to make anybody feel like I was showing. My husband always said, you are my princess, you're my princess. And he would tell me, you are a princess now, you're a princess now. And so one day I told him, I said, I'm ready to accept the title and stand with you as your princess. And so I just my my platform and I accepted it. Not worrying about at that moment. I wasn't worried about what anybody else was gonna think or say. And I told my father and my stepmother, and I said, my husband likes it that I accept the title. And my dad said, as long as your husband like it. So
That's right.
as long as your husband likes it. I feel that I feel very honored to um be his princess, to represent, especially because being an African American woman in the United States, I really don't have a lot of information about my culture going back beyond the Carolinas, which is where part of Georgia, which is where the two of my families come from.
Mhm.
And I research on my even went to companies to have my DNA checked to see where my DNA tracked to, because I've been working to create the history book for my family. And I was trying to discover where I come from. I realized that we really didn't have any documented meet this man who tell about what happened in his family from centuries ago, who has a history and a knowledge of his African culture. He's from Yoruba tribe. I'm very impressed with that. Now, look where you come from. You know family,
Mm,
and it encourages more to continue, not just knowing it traces back to or what country, but something for my children, my other relatives who may be interested in learning. It's about me, because we all know that, you know, most people of color, natives here in America. But there was a deal of people or who came from Africa. And many of us, just because whether we were native here or not, but because we have this melanin in our skin, we were just cut off from our culture. We were forced to assimilate, and a lot of us don't have history of where we come from. We don't have the history of our culture. So for me, embracing it at this point now, I'm embracing it. I'm not. Um, it's a to it is a lot to learn, because of course, we cultures. I don't speak his, but he speaks mine. He speaks multiple languages. So it's been a very, I guess, surreal feeling. A very honored feeling. But at the same time, like I said, it has also humbled me, because I feel like I have a responsibility to uh, focus on being the best person that I can be. Because when you have titles, don't make a person. What's in your heart makes you who you are. What you exude, what's on your mind, what's in your heart, what you exude as a person is what's not your title. But when you have the admiration of people, when you have influence and are put in a position to carry a title, you have more people watching you, and the
Yeah.
responsibility, it becomes even greater. So more I feel more honored to be the best person that I can possibly be. And it's an honor, and I'm truly grateful to be a part of the Afolabi family. My new in-laws have everything. They are such a sweet family, and one of my eldest brother-in-law, he is very loving, and whenever I talk to him, he talks to me, and he always seems so happy to speak to me, and that makes me feel good. So I feel very welcome in the family, and I'm happy to be a part of the family. But I also again, it took me some time. I didn't just get married and then just say, hey, day one, accept the title and announce it to everybody. right after getting married. It took some time because I always want people to know that, I'm just a person, regardless of what my title is, I'm human. I'm and that is, several months before I even, took the title on. And I'm very honored. It's been, um, it's been a very humbling experience. Even going to Nigeria was a very, very, very eye-opening experience as well.
Oh, we have a question for you. She says, Lakeisha, what are some cultural connections and disconnections that you and your husband have shared so far? B Woods, thank you for joining us. Thank you for that question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say I heard you guys mention the name Latoya. That is my friend from like way back. I saw her pop up, and her and I have been friends since middle school. So thank you, Latoya,
Wow.
for coming on and supporting and sending me some positive energy. It always makes me feel good to see people, that I haven't seen in a long time, but to know that they're still in my corner. I'm still in their corner too. So thank you for joining us. Fee Woods, what's up? That's my cousin. That's my cousin. Great question. Well, as language, I don't, but he's teaching me words little by little. Another natural disconnection would probably be our food. So when I was in Nigeria, I did have the opportunity to experience the native food. There were some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like. And I also had the opportunity to cook some soul food for my husband. So we had a deal. We were like, okay, I'm gonna try this Nigerian food, and you got to try some of my okra, corn, tomatoes, and rice. my southern stew that my grandma taught me how to make. And so I was it was my husband was like, I want us to live African. I want us to live the African lifestyle. And I said, okay, we can live African, but I'm African. Give up everything from my culture too. I said, it's gonna be still some things about my culture that I'm gonna hang on to. So he was like, okay. But we would bump heads sometimes with sayings because his English is more like British English. And so some things that he says in English, I may not understand what it means because they have different sayings. And so my English is American English. And then when he wants to say, sometimes he may slip up and say some words that are Yoruba. And so it's like a communication. We just, initially we went back and forth with, hey, let's communicate that we can understand each other. Let's communicate in a way that we can understand each other. And that if we don't understand something or a phrase or a saying, or if we don't like something about it, we'll talk about it. So I would say some of the biggest ones would be our desire to have different the food, the language, and music is universal, but we really don't listen to the same type of music. So we kind of have a little disconnection with music, but at the same time, only because of language, because the local music, I really don't understand what they're saying. But the beat, everybody can groove to a beat. That is universal. The music itself is universal. So when he was courting me, he sent me He sent me some songs. He sent me one song that ended up becoming my favorite, one of my favorite songs. And I don't know what the lady is. I know what she's saying here and there, but I don't know everything. That I would say those like 3 that we had some connections on, but we working in.
Princess Lakeisha, it's funny. I just kind of started a relationship with a Nigerian woman, and shout out to AJ and Lags Restaurant on Little Rock Road, the opposite way from the airport, is a Nigerian like restaurant and bar, and that is like my spot now. I love there. I get the croaker all the time. And I have family who's married. My one cousin's married to Cameroonian. And so I have different influences of different African cultures and food and the way that it's made and the way that they say things. It is an experience that being an African American, you really get the thirst to learn more about the African culture. And so I am so blessed to have different different people. You know, I have a friend from Liberia, I have a friend from Ethiopia, I have a friend from the Ivory Coast, and there's different. Even each one, Africa is just not Africa. There's so many individual countries within the continent that have different backgrounds and different ways and different stories. And you know, to be able to say this recipe came from my great great great, you know, they're going back 4 and 5 generations. It's just phenomenal, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Every part is different. I can say that much. I've met people from like I've met people from Ghana, met people from Nigeria, and every country on the continent has its own flair, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful continent. Nigeria is a beautiful country. They have a lot going on. Going on, so there's good and bad, but the people and the traditions, the customs, the way they respect their elders, everybody that met me, they were like, hello, mom. And at first I was like, call me mom, like I'm their mama. I didn't understand. I didn't understand at first, right? So I'm thinking they're just calling me mom, like, how the New Yorkers be like, what's up, mom? I didn't get it. But it's a like a term of endearment, and it shows respect. It's to the person to the woman you're speaking to. And I thought that was it was really refreshing. When I came husband's home, and I had the opportunity to spend time with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and everybody's like, they greet you with the bow, greeting you with the bow. There's just a lot of things about the culture that was very refreshing, I must say. And it really allowed me to see Nigerians.
Princess, your audio cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We can now.
Hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. Uh, okay, I'm sorry about that.
Mm, you're
Okay,
fine.
good. So I'm not sure what part you cut out on, but I was agreeing with you, Miss Pitbull.
Right. Right. Well, bringing this thing around full circle real quick because we just briefly touched on it before we get ready to close out. Princess Lakeisha, March the 21st was your 21st anniversary for your magazine, Enjoy Life. For our viewers and your friends out there, real quick, um, just give us a brief synopsis of what it it took to actually keep that magazine going for that long period of time, as well as being a single mother during that period.
Give a brief synopsis of.
The ups and downs of running a magazine, your magazine during that time frame.
Okay. Um, Challenges included sales, advertising sales. It started out as a newsletter. It escalated from a newsletter to an online magazine to a print publication. So some of the ups and downs were also, um, I would say, managing myself as a creative and then managing the business itself as well. Never had a problem meeting people because I was just always on. I was on the scene, making connections. And once I wrote an article about someone, and people saw, I was just blessed to be able to get in touch with the right people, and it opened doors for me. So I didn't have a problem getting content or setting up interviews, but it was always an issue of having so much content to write about, not enough staff, not enough knowledge on how to run a business. So I would recommend to anyone that wants to get into business of publishing or producing content. These days a lot of things is produced online, but I would just
Yeah.
still recommend that or get a mentor or someone to help you to
Mm,
go through, instead of going through so many trial and error moments. But I had a lot of trials with, and here's my big, here's one of our special print editions. But general issues, managing my content, time management, being able to produce creatively and still run the business part of the business, doing sales, wearing multiple hats,
mhm,
which I did
mhm,
for many years. Even when I hired freelance writers, there were times where I hired freelance writers, we've had interns. I still found myself wearing a lot of hats because nothing but just dream, a computer, and Kinko's, which is what it was called at the time. It's FedEx office now, but that's all I had. And I wanted to get out there as a writer, and I said I need a promotional tool. So I said I'm going to put out my own magazine. But
mhm,
I was learning how to connections, making decisions to feature things like so it was a
mhm.
big learning experience.
And such a successful experience up to date. Like I said, you celebrating 21 years doing such. Um, well, family, it looks like we are kind of nearing the end of the our time allotted. We got any? I know. I know.
No.
It's even such a fun guest. We got any parting words? Or a matter of fact, Princess Lakeisha, share with the viewers how they can follow you.
You guys can follow me on Facebook at Lakesha Afolabi /Lakesha Afolabi. You can follow me on Instagram. I am underscore Lakesha HA. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Lakesha, LAKESHA underscore Afolabi. That's AFOLABI. And I do follow people back as long as you got a positive vibe.
Hmm.
Thank you all for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure to speak, guys. You are an amazing team, and I look forward to seeing your continued growth. You guys know I'm in your corner, 100%.
Ah, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. We appreciate that, sis. We
Yes.
definitely do. Well, family, as brother said, once again, it is about that time. We thank y'all for joining us this evening. So many people showed up in order to join us on this positive venture, especially with Princess Lakeisha. If you get a chance, share this with many individuals so they know that there is a positive side to media as well as the growth that can occur. And we hope to see y'all again next week. Lord's will and the creek don't rise, as Grandma would say. But thank y'all for joining us on the Roundtable Podcast Show. We'll see you soon.
Bye.